Peter J. Murray. How are you, Peter J. Murray? They come up to me in Morrison's. Hello, Peter J. Murray. And we always introduce Kath as Catherine with a K, or Kath with a K, and that sticks. And the kids all call Kath with a K. I can't tell you how many times we've been in Morrison's or Tesco's on the island, and from the far end of the aisle, they suddenly, it's Peter J. Murray and Kath with a K. And everybody in the supermarket looks round in amazement and wonders what on earth's going on. So yeah, there's some really nice slides there. I could show you so many more where we've been abroad as well. And it doesn't matter where you go, which country you go, wherever you go, children are children. They love the spookiness, they love the idea of something creepy out there. And it's universal, which is why I think my genre works so well. Well, what I'm going to do now is go on to the actual book. There's my dark side again. Now, when I got that picture taken, it was for Wikipedia. That is my Wikipedia picture, and the guy who took it works at a school up in the north. So pleased with it, and I saw it, and when I wrote the scary stories for the Isle of Wight, I just thought, well, you know, and it just came into my head, the darker side of Wight. And I thought, wow, that really works. It just came into my head. Ping! So we decided that we'd have something with a dark side. And I absolutely love hares. And I almost associate hares with the Isle of Wight because they've been here forever. And I'm sure they've been on this island forever. Very often when I've been going fishing on the island, I've driven past a field, especially around Merston, and I've seen a hare out there looking, watching. I don't know whether you know, but hares don't actually burrow underground. They have nests on top. They're always on the alert. And then, combined with that, they are very revered creatures for generations. The Romans apparently revered them, and if you actually killed a hare and a Roman official found out, you were in big trouble. So they've been revered by people for generations. They're very mystical, as you probably know. Every time you buy a hare, a little statue of it, it's nearly always looking up because they're looking for the moon. They're sort of bewitched by the moon. They have these amazing courting rituals under the moon where I'm sure you know they box with each other, they do dances and everything. So I thought I'm going to have a hare. So I'm going to have a hare with a dark side. So that's where the idea came from. And then Paul Davies, who you're going to meet in a few minutes, he's just the most amazing guy. And you give him an idea and then suddenly, bang, he comes up with all these amazing things. I thought I'd just show you a few of Paul's famous images. Some of you know that Paul used to do books for Stephen King. And nearly all Stephen King's books became movies. Now, who can tell me which book is that became a movie? Pet Cemetery, well done. So that's one of Paul's. Here's one of my favourites. Anybody know that? Any Stephen King experts?
Oh, it's
Christie's, well done. The Haunted Car. That was on TV recently, actually. And here's the most famous one of all. Now, when I show this one in a school, my street cred just goes, woof.
Oh, yeah.
It. And as soon as you show the kids that, what, your artist did that? Wow! And they can't believe it. And that, I think, am I right, Paul, in saying that was the first poster for the movie that you actually did?
Yeah, no, that was the original paperback.
Right.
It was an American version that was pinched from that, but that is the original It cover. I'm not saying it was due to that cover, but that was the first ever European #1 bestseller that Stephen King had.
Right. That's a great cue, Paul, for you to come out and have a few minutes. Can you come out and have a few minutes? Can I introduce you to Paul Bryn Davies, who did the artwork? got the rough up for you.
Yeah, right, okay.
And the next two, if you want, I'll click on when you've said it there.
Right, let's start with this one. It's I've told Matt and several of the people I met earlier, the other Peter. This started off with a telephone call from this Peter. So he's got this idea for a book on spooky stories of the Isle of Wight. And he said, can we have a hare on the cover? Well, I wasn't really that au fait with the fact that hares were such a kind of important thing on the Isle of Wight. But Peter explained all that. So he said, I'd like one half of it to be nasty and the other half to be a sort of regular hare. So, I mean, when you get the cover, if you put your hand over this side, he's kind of quite cute. Yeah. And this side, obviously, is something else again. And the strange thing is about this, before Peter saw the finished art, several people came into my studio and looked at this, and one or two of them actually almost laughed because they didn't quite know how to take it. And then my youngest daughter, who's very creative, she's in show business, but she's a great artist herself. She went, "Oh my God, Dad, that is unbelievable. That is horrific. Yeah, I can't stop looking at it." You know? So anyway, Peter and I talked further about it, and this was the rough sketch that I emailed to him. And we talked about doing a background of the Isle of Wight, so a classic view of the Isle of Wight. Lots of greens, you know, beautiful island that it is, blue sky. And when I drew it, I said to Pete, I sent it straight to Pete, and I said, "Do you like it?" And he called me back and said, "I love it." I said, "But no background at all. Just that simple image." And they're one of those things that you can't plan. It's like the It cover we saw before. It became kind of quite iconic. But when you look at it, there's nothing really there. It was the balloon in the eyes in the drain. But when you see it on the book cover, it's incredibly simple. And it's not easy to come up with an image like that. But if you do, you know when you've got it straight away, you know. And so going back to this one, that was it. And it was as simple as that. So I gave Pete a rough idea of how the typo might work. But that was more Louise's job as a graphic designer to sort that. And it's just the basic simplicity of it, I thought worked really well. But if anyone's interested to see the original painting, by the way, I've brought it with me. I've got it's out the back.
Yeah, it's just on the window side over there.
Well, there's the original rough drawing here with the notes I made on it after the conversation with Pete, and the original painting. So
What about when you mentioned the Beatles, that album from years ago, it was just white at the back.
Oh, the Wight album, yeah.
You said that gave you an
Yeah,
idea.
it did indeed. Thinking, you know, at the time it was the idea you see with a lot of artwork and book jackets particularly is to smother the whole thing in colour, you know, and keep it busy.
Shall we go back to the actual book cover?
Yeah. There we go.